ready for the final game of this group phase. Third and final game of this group phase between, of course, KVM Academy, which we will be casting all day. And this time around, it is DSEA, right? No confusions.
This time around it is, and
no
it is an important game.
Yes.
Because they are both 1-1, 1 win, 1 loss. So it means that if Iron Squad wins his third games, which we can predict that like 80% is a possibility that they win, then the team that wins this game will go on to the round of 16. So who loses out, who wins goes through, probably. Gotta keep that scenario intact that Iron Squad loses the game that they're gonna play now. But that's why it's so important. Like, if they want to play more games today and tomorrow, they really need to get through this match.
They definitely need to get through this match to, go into the round of 16, which, by the way, this time I believe is a best of 3, as opposed to last week, where it was just the best of 1. So they are going to have to win this one to go through to that round of 16. Of course, have to be top 2 in your group to be able to go through to that one. As I believe DSEA is waiting for their support. Looks like it will be, yes. Anyways, DSEA, Boba Joe. We don't know them. Or at least I don't. I don't know about you. I don't know. Are there any crazy expectations? Are there any champions that we expect to see that we might otherwise not?
Well, there are some interesting champions in the top lane. We do have Margin, who plays Cardus, Tryndamere, and Mundo. Those are his champions that he's been playing of late, so we might see something like that. Of course, we saw Tryndamere in the Dutch League this week, and they got a win as well. So I would love seeing a Tryndamere in Open Tour as well, now that it is maybe socially acceptable to play him here without being
still not socially acceptable.
It is now. Dutch League said it's acceptable. It has been played.
Fine.
So Margin, don't hold back. Go for that pick if he wants. And for the rest, yeah, we have a little bit more of the standard picks here and there. So I'm not sure if they are going to do something crazy on the other lanes. We'll have to see. At least they are straight off the bat banning away Jerry's Lucian and of course Mandrago's Kai'Sa. Not going to able to play this, but of course Samir still open. The great game on it last time round. And only showed that he can play more than just Hecarim. He did do very well on the Needle League. So we'll have to see what they are going for now. I hope KVM still goes to that draft where they have more than one threat. That they do not need to bank everything on Mandrago or everything on Jerry. But that they kind of spread their damage. And that they have solid engage. Of course, Bisco taking up that position most of the time. But maybe they give him a little bit more help. And they are banning their own Hecarim this time. Don't want to give it over to Demortis.
Yeah, Demortis likes playing Hecarim as well, so don't want to give that away in the first rotation, where, of course, oftentimes junglers and bottom laners are to be picked. And, along with that tradition, we do see Seraphine being picked up. Of course, can be flexed towards the mid lane and towards the support role. However, normally it should be the support role, as XUV Losjelp does like playing that Seraphine quite a lot. And of course a very strong pick here. KVM not banning it away, picking up Pantheon again for Mortar. Had a decent game, had quite some trouble in the top lane against the Aatrox, however. Picking it up again, not letting that affect him at all. Of course we can see Pantheon shifting around to other lanes. And then, eventually, after all this time, we spoke about it last time that we hadn't seen it yet, Talia gets picked up for Oli.
And I'm wondering what he can do on this, because we've seen him play his champs that he likes, and Italy, I believe we even last week saw a Graves game. See, Italy now, the only one that really is still missing is that Talia, which he has loads and loads of games of. And they're playing against the Graves again, third time this day. So I have a feeling that Oli kind of knows what he has to expect from that champ. He's a beast in farming, and then when he go towards the mid game, he gets his items and he starts shooting everyone down. Of course, Talia has this burst, has this crazy synergy with the Pantheon stun as well, because lockdown, knockback into all the rubble, and you die. Basically, that's what it is. And it's also hard to kite back against Talia, because you can do the Weaver's Wall behind your team, can't get away anymore. They give Nautilus to Pisco again, who just made the Rift Hook City last game. No one could catch it. The question is DSEA gonna make the same mistake as Gaming Alliance and not pick anything that can go in front of the Nautilus and peel for his team? Or are they gonna have to take it in the face again?
I was actually banking on KVM picking up Jin here, but he got picked away, banned away, sorry, by the side of DSEA. Ooh, this could be really cool if they do go for Tristana, which they do lock in eventually. Together with that, Nautilus is an insanely aggressive lane. Level 2, basically Nautilus hooks you, smacks you into the floor, riptides you so you can't run away. Tristana follows all that up with a jump and a explosive ball of doom on your face. I don't know what it's called, so let's call it explosive ball of doom.
Explosive shot?
Possibly. So that's a very, very, very aggressive lane against this Senna Seraphine. Once again, if one of those two get hooked, especially if Seraphine gets hooked, they have quite a lot of trouble. Going back, of course, to the Talia with the Nautilus and the Pantheon, huge amount of setup for Talia to hit her knockback into the minefield of her own. Of course, Pantheon stun, click on knockback, bye. Same goes for Nautilus. Syndra gets picked up here for the mid lane on the side of DSEA. No placeholders yet. Looked like maybe Annie was going to be a placeholder. And now they need to find a mid laner for Jerry here. Possibilities on this pick here?
Irelia is still open, I believe, for him. But he is going again for the Yone. We've seen him play this once. It was the first game last week against Tribute. They lost that game. It was a hard game for him as well. He went for the Kraken Slayer, which was, in my opinion, the worst of the 3 items that you could go for him. Gale Force makes him unkiteable, and Shield Bow makes him unkillable. And Kraken Slayer gives him more damage, but he doesn't have either of the previous, so it's more important. Yone has enough damage in his kit as it is, in my opinion, but we'll see how he goes in this game. We do see the Shen picked up for margin. KVM Mechelen of all should know how much impact a champion can have in these games. They are going to engage on one target. Shen is going to come in and they can turn the fight around. So they need to make sure that either Mortar can stop that teleport or can join in, of course, with his own Skyfall. And then they can have those really insane, we fight in the bot lane 2v2 and suddenly 10 people are there fights. That's, of course, what we love and want to see. But I'm very happy with the Tristana pick as well from Drago, because it's a champion, in my opinion, one of the most underrated AD carries at the moment, who is not being played basically because of the way that she has wave management. Like you're always pushing with Tristana, and that is, I think, the reason that she is so underplayed in pro play.
She's pretty underrated, in my opinion as well. Something I wanted to touch on here, however, is you do have the Shen, with, of course, the Stand United. Global presence can shield you from anywhere in the map to anywhere in the map. On the other side, you have Pantheon, who has a semi-global ult as well. Can jump in, can follow that up. Probably going to run the teleport as well to follow up on the Shen. And you have that Talia, who also has a, not semi-global, but has a pretty big wall that she can ride. Sounds weird, but whatever. To also, you know, jump from one side of the map basically to the other side of the map. So there's a lot of potential there on both sides to make, global plays, 4v4 dives, kind of things in the bottom lane. Could potentially happen there. Imagine Pantheon dropping in, Talia setting the wall behind there, and then Tristana and Nautilus jumping in, and then suddenly you have the Graves and the Shen there as well. These could be insane bottom lane fights. And then even if Yone and Syndra follow that up somehow, you got basically team fights at minute 10-15, which could turn the game either way. So that's could be very interesting to see if they're going to go for that. It looks like they might with the comps they have drafted. And of course, Senna with her global. So there's a lot of potential here, cross-map plays, as we are waiting another 50 seconds to jump into this third and final game of this group phase for KVM Academy versus DSEA Red. I haven't asked it yet today.
No, stop.
You know what's coming. Who's got your money?
Yeah, my money is... I don't really need to say that I don't know it this time. I put my money in KVM here because I like the comp that they drafted. They really have a composition that do like the in-out kind of strat. You have Tristana who can just jump in, get the kill, jump back. You have Yone who can go in with his E and then go back. You have Pantheon who can jump in with the stun and run back with the wall. They really have this, we can commit, but we also can get out, which is something that often comps struggle with, that you do not have that exit button anymore. So if they group with that strat, like Tristana, Yone, Pantheon, they go forward, hub to the deeps, and they go back. How can you trade with that? You really need to put the CC on the right targets, on the right place for any counter. And of course, the front line, you have the Shen that will be key for this DSEA comp to make them work. So I would think Oli needs to focus this top lane. That's a good strat every time. You just attack the global and they can't use the global. Make sure he's behind, make sure Mortar can put pressure in that lane, that he isn't free to impact the other lanes. And then KVM will have a breeze in this game, but take it away, Bojack. Third game group phase.
Third, taking it away. Woo! Here we go, boys, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this third and final game of the group phase. We are on rift between KVM Esports Academy and DSEA Red. No idea if they have anything to do with Gaming Alliance Red, but if they do, and they lose to KVM, then they both lost. And that's sad, of course, for them. We're gonna have to see if they're able to do anything. Both teams are 1-1, I believe, in this group phase. DSA winning their first game against Gaming Alliance Red, and then losing to Ion Squad. KVM doing the other way round, but winning again, losing against the same teams. 1-1 for both teams. Very important game here for both sides. Need to win this to be able to go through to the best of 3 round of 16, as both teams are looking to just set up a big wall and not go for any crazy invades this time around, this early game. Tristana Nautilus versus Senna Seraphine. If they find some early aggression and kills, Tristana can really get rolling. He's strong in the early game, dips down a little bit maybe in the mid game, and then late game 6 item Tristana. What do you do?
You cry a lot, and you kind of hope that Fixit's range will be as long as Tristana's, because of course with Tristana it grows as much as her level is. She keeps scaling her range up until 18, and Senna scales up infinitely, but at the start of the game she will dip a little bit. But I am foremost happy that Bisco is playing Nautilus again, because we've seen so much Leona, so much Alistar on him, and you can see how much fun he had last game with his pick, that he's like, I want to play it again. It was so nice, just hooking all the targets, just keep going the aggression, minute 1 to the end of the game. And I hope we can see this again from him, because that's really when he is in his element and can impact the game on his level. Meanwhile, we see mid Yona, of course, struggling a little bit at the start of this laning phase, has the fleet footwork for some sustain, and the Doran shield should be able to survive there. Meanwhile, in bot, don't show the same aggression that the wave push in. Not sure when they want to make a play. Maybe a cheeky hook into the turret. It'll always be a classic in a lane like that, but kind of hard for them to do that now.
And Jerry having some trouble in the mid lane versus Devil X's Syndra, getting poked down, scorching his way through Yone's health bar. As yeah, they have aggression in the bottom lane of KVM. Of course, they are in a range disadvantage with this Nautilus, as it looks like Nautilus is going to walk up pretending his jungler is there. Jerry looking for a trade in the mid lane. So bottom lane needs to find hooks, needs to find the aggression. If they don't, they're just going to get poked away. And if they don't find the kills, then the side of DSEA can just heal up once again with a Seraphine and the Senna. A similar lane they faced last time around, and this is what we talked about. Very easy knockbacks for Oli
Oh, that's
as
the
the
one.
flash first blood. The tip of the spear hits him. And first blood does go to Mortar this time, finding the damage together with his jungler in the top side of the map.
So scary. Those ganks who just had a click on stun into the CC and the burst from Alistalia. And then even with the flash, counter flash from Mortar with that spear in the face is enough to get the first blood. And as we said, attack the global. Make sure that the Shen is behind, that he can't impact the lanes as easy as he would like to. And that Mortar can just keep getting these trades, of course. Shen always scary with that dodge field and the shield being able to mitigate so much of that damage, but Pantheon with the skills doing something good flash there. Scout needs to make sure he is out, and we've seen it last game around. Surfing without flash. That's something Bisco doesn't mind.
Seraphine without flash against the Nautilus. We've seen it before. Not very nice. As once again, Devil X poking down Jerry. Jerry, however, has somehow got a XP advantage as he goes in here. Gank in the mid lane doesn't go well. Now gank in the bottom lane. The knockback doesn't work. Another flash coming through. Both bottom laners on DSEA don't have the flash up anymore. So return ganks, hooks, very, very possible. DSEA's bot lane needs to be careful.
This is a little bit sad because Bisco, he hooked a minion. It was like right in top of, in front of his shoe. Else he could have hooked Seraphine and it was a kill, but now serious waste of the teleport from Mortar, which basically means that the lead that he has from the gank is being put down just a tad. And looking for KVM, they can transition into the first Drake of the game, which it doesn't mean much, but if you get later in the game, it does, because all of a sudden you're at soul point and the other team is looking at the timer and it's 18 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and
Meanwhile,
of course,
Margin taunting, putting some aggression, but still trades in favor of Mortar.
I mean, and it's an Ocean Drake. It gives you extra little bit of health regen, 2.5% every 5 seconds. So that's, you know, it's nice to have on your side nonetheless, even if it's just one. It's fun to have on your side as Jerry gonna try to go in, losing the XP fight at this point. Gets to level 6 as well. Mortar just letting the wave push into him, and Margin gonna be able to maybe look for a reset. Look at the damage, the 3 hits. Now a lot of damage there. Can't really go in anymore with the auto attacks, but of course the spear, not an auto attack, cannot be blocked. And Shen 10 farm ahead, but the big wave is there, and 2 kills down as well. Pantheon looking strong.
This is so nasty, the damage. Meanwhile, Jerry might be in trouble because and that is the weakness of Yone. You are unpredictable until you become predictable. Then it's quite easy to land those skill shots. The burst too much, and 0-1 in the 1v1, that is not what you want to see on your mid lane.
No, he's down in XP, he's down in farm, he's down in kills now as well. Yone looking at a hard time here. So it's not gonna really come from him here in the early game. Of course, we all know the Yone 0-10 power spike. Once he gets there with a couple of items, it all doesn't really matter. Hits a 2-3 man ult and the game can turn around just like that. And once again, he goes in, trades for free. I was expecting a little more pressure here on the bottom lane, as Seraphine and Senna both still not having their flash up. Looks like Talia is hovering around his bottom lane, however. as they clear the river ward. But Fixit and Losgeld playing it very safe at this point, letting the wave push into them, not getting caught, making sure
There's a wall.
they don't get hooked here. There's the wall. Both of them don't have flash. This should be a double kill. Look at the heals, however. Fixit surviving for super long. Exhaust comes down on Oli 5, and Mindrago picking up that kill as well. Meanwhile, in top lane, Mortar going low. Needs to be careful that he doesn't go down here. Should, however, go down any moment now. One more auto attack for Margin. Is it going to be enough? He should find the dodge field. The ooh and the ahs were coming through. I was going to say the auto attack, but it wasn't enough. Then the dodge field wasn't enough. Then the auto attack was enough. It was too much. Too fast. My brain
And
could
it
not
was clutch for
comprehend.
both of them. If Mortar was able to get the shield wall like, up again, that would have been a kill for him. But
Shield
Margin,
wall.
he clutches it out, has the ninja tabs early as well. Of course, for a little bit of the damage reduction is a good pickup because you're playing against Tristana, against Yone. If you manage to shut down Talia early in a fight, then you will be such a relevant tank at that point. So he might choose to just go full armor and ignore that, but you can't ignore it here. Oli just says, nope, rock in the face, kill for me, 2-0 and 2. I'm balling on my side of the jungle.
Talia is the definition of being between a rock and a hard place. Not really where you want to be, of course, as a Shen with barely any HP tries to juke out the Pantheon, who came in with a zoning ult, pushing Shen into the arms of Talia. Now the Mortis needs to pick up this top lane farm. Graves at this point, the Mortius, no pressure.
But definitely not the level of Graves as we've seen today.
Oh.
Meanwhile, they're going so deep in the bot lane. Can they get a kill here?
Flash from Mindrago juking the Senna ult. When needs to use his healer going really low, as it's gonna be Talia jumping into the fight as well. Hook goes wide, knockback hits. Ollie picking up one, might pick up a second. Flash is down already. Losgeld goes down, and another 2 kills fall in the bottom lane. 35 seconds for this next Drake, but now maybe some pressure in the mid lane as Jerry uses his ult to get out of there. And this is the aggression in the bottom lane we spoke of. If they find the CC and the damage, it should be enough, and they do it over and over again. And once again, Seraphine no flash. Bisco likes it.
Meanwhile, Jerry soaking pressure, escape with that fate sealed. And there was no ultimate on Margin because of course he used it the time around with the 3-man gank in the bot lane. So he hadn't anything up, couldn't really teleport as well because of course you see the pressure that Mortar is being able to put here. What was the plan all along from KVM? Make sure he's ahead, make sure Margin isn't really free to go where he pleases. He is not playing Mundo, he is playing Shen, and he needs to fight this crazy Spartan in the top lane. KVM picking up his second Drake, and we do have a Mountain Rift. Is this good or bad?
It's It's You know, of course Nautilus is gonna like the Mountain Rift on his face. Shen is gonna like it as well as he goes into a tanky build himself. You know, for the rest, not really anyone benefiting extremely much from it. However, it's still a Mountain Rift. You get the extra tankiness, you get the extra survivability, and it's going to be harder to kill you. And, you know, against a team with so much damage on both sides, it's always nice to have a little more beefiness on your side. So, yeah, sure, I'll take it.
Have to see who can pick up those next Drakes, but as for now, KV Mechelen comfortably in the lead. They have almost 3,000 gold in favor of them.
Weaver's Wall.
There they go again. This is a deja vu. I would not want to be Senna, but she might get out with a flash, and that's a lot of resources invested by KV Mechelen. Can they get something out of this?
Yeah, Senna still had her flash up, and she's the one who... Oh, Ione goes down in the mid lane, tries to get out with his ultimate. Not going to be enough as Unleashed Power was already underway. And yeah, a lot of resources used here in the bottom lane. Senna was caught on the wrong side of the Weaver's Wall, however, did have flash. Seraphine was not caught, didn't have flash. A bit of a sad turn of events there as the both top laners actually going toe-to-toe really hard. Mortar should be able to win this one. Dodge field is down. Needs to find... Oh, he misses. The spear flashes away as another flash comes in for the follow-up. Gets the taunt. Is it going to be enough? It is going to be enough for Margin picking up the kill there. And now Devil X might go down. Should be able to explode here with Tristana picking up that one. Pressuring the mid lane. First turret has gone down already for KVM Esports Academy. Gray is going to try and do something in mid lane, try and protect that. Mindrago going really hard. A lot of CC, a lot of damage goes down. Ollie as well flashes over the wall into the arms of Seraphine. Isn't going to do anything. It's going to be the Senna eventually picking that one up for himself. Bit of a strange flash there. But, you know, DSEA coming back a little bit here as Graves still hasn't really done anything this game.
And that was a small int by Mandrago because, of course, you see the target, you have basically no mana, no ultimate, but you jump in anyway. And I mean, KVM Mechelen, they've played enough with Shen in this past Open Tour to know what that pick does. And yeah, he comes in, can't get the kill. They kill Mandrago because, of course, he can't get the reset to get out if you don't get that kill. And yeah, that's a shutdown going in favor of ASDA. Meanwhile, kills are almost even, and the lead that we spoke of earlier, it is being closed in because of the shutdowns that have fallen in favor of blue side here. But of course, the biggest difference that we have is Devil X versus Jerry at the moment. Devil X really able to control that lane, to get solo kills as well, and to make sure that he will be relevant with the Syndra, something Jerry struggled with in the first game today, where he really was put behind, and when Syndra is behind, can't get that mythic item. It's really hard for her to do the damage that she needs, but I think she will be able to pick that up very soon.
A little bit of poke coming through in the top lane. 1 minute for the next dragon to be spawned. KVM very much in position to pick this one up for themselves, putting them on to Soul Point as well. As Jerry fighting for these Krugs on the bottom side of the map. They are not yours to take, but he takes them anyways. So, you know, a little bit of a thief on the Rift here today, taking what isn't his. Of course, you could argue that it is his.
Because he got it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so,
you know. It's a question. Once you steal something, is it yours or not? That's a discussion for another day.
Big philosophical question. In chat, let us know if you steal. Actually, that's a good one. If you steal something, is it then yours? Because, I mean, you have it. Probably not. The answer is no. Never mind. The answer is no. It's not yours. You stole it.
We shouldn't really push people in that direction. It is not okay. And that being said, we do see Jerry here going for the shield bow. So he has learned from the last game that that is probably a better item than Kraken Slayer. At the end, he is 0-2, but it's Yone, so he can still become that unkillable thing that just dives into your backlining. Does so much damage. It's looking to zone away Shen. Oh! Steal, maybe?
Graves gonna come through looking for the steal. It's eventually Pantheon picking that one up as Ollie mistimes his smite a little bit. However, it is KVM Mechelen picking it up. They are onto the Soul Point. Gonna help that to go along, and alas, chat is now discussing whether stealing something is yours. We should never have opened that can of worms. You know, whatever floats your boat. Have fun with it.
I love how we put this little reaction together in the chat. See how far they go. When you have a conclusion, let us know what the final answer is. Meanwhile, Margin going low under turret. Might not be where you want to be. Shield bow is blocking. Can he do it? Failed seals hit. And is it enough? Both going low, they do not want to commit. There's no one even near them to do something. They're both waiting, like, is there anyone coming? Or what's happening? Do we want to commit?
Immortal Shield Bow was procced already as they do go hard onto the top side of the map. Devil X getting picked up, but Graves picking up his first kill, his first one of the game here, as he runs away. Jerry and Margin still, you know, spamming them emotes, running away from each other. Don't think either of them wants to commit anyways, as Jerry is starting to win this one. Of course, he has that lifesteal as now Nautilus looking for a hook in the middle lane. Mindrago was there to jump on their face, not gonna connect, however. And KVM very much in the driver's seat here. They are 1.5k ahead in gold. Not insane. They are on soul point. They do have momentum. They have pressure. And
Disco, what you doing?
Yeah.
He's just
he's soloing
going
the
in the jungle, giving Graves a slap, and then walking backwards. Meanwhile, Cherry full health, doing some damage, but of course you can't stay there. Once you pop that E, you will get back, and he has to be careful for Martin because it's still a Shen.
And going low, Jerry going
no.
low. Same thing again. They're looking for. Oh, he was looking. He was looking for a bit of lifesteal off of Krugs. Missed his Q, however, and well, that's a little bit of a fail by Jerry, going greedy again. We've seen him go greedy before. Maybe he should tone down his tunnel vision greediness a little bit.
Well, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and just say, I'll get everyone to me, you guys take the Herald, and we'll capitalize on that.
Yes.
Good
job, Jerry.
Again, 0-3. I mean, you can go for that 0-10 power spike on the Yone and still be relevant. And we have an assassin in our midst. It's, yeah, you guessed it, Mandrago again on the AD carry. Going
And
for the kill.
it even looked like Fixit wasn't paying attention at all. He has his flash up, he has his exhaust up. He didn't move, he was just standing still there. Yeah, that was a bit of a weird, I don't know what Fixit was doing. Maybe he had lag. Let's blame it on lag. You know, like we always do. Low elo games.
I will not
Let's go.
shout too hard before we get into a 20-minute pause again. That's not what we want in this open tour. And I gotta say, I love that Tristana skin, like the little dragon. It's just the best. It's also in TFT now, so it's basically a TFT skin. And he's popping off on this champion, and I hope that this honors the pick a little bit. As we said, it's an underrated AD carry. Not much play is seen from this champion. We've seen a little bit in the mid lane before, but really as the AD carry role in the bot lane has been neglected. But Mandrago says, no, Tristana still really good. I'll show you why, and yeah, he's popping off.
Popping off. 1 minute, a bit more than a minute left for the next Drake. It is, of course, soul point for KVM. We all know that, and if they pick up Mountain Soul, it's gonna be harder to kill, which they, at the moment, aren't really that hard to kill. If you look at the squishiness of their comp. And aside from Pantheon and Nautilus, maybe it should be rather easy. Of course, with that Mountain Rift, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Kraken Slayer on Senna, Ginsu's on the way. And once those two items are done on Senna, it should be a lot easier for her to dish out the necessary damage. 30 seconds for this dragon. TP is up on both top laners. Ultimate is up on both top laners. And both teams hanging around this Drake right now, trying to contest the vision.
Java makes us still look very scary. They have their carries in the jungle and the bot lane. I feel like Yone just needs to stay in the split, where he is relevant, where he can get the money and eventually become the beast that we all know. Meanwhile, Bisco looking for a hook again, can't quite find it, but they are starting off this Drake.
It looks like they are gonna start off this Drake, indeed, blocking a lot of damage there from the Graves as a hook gets found. Whoa, what? The Seraphine ult just flew over everybody's head. Stand United comes through onto Loshield. The taunt comes through. They find the kill. The Mortius picking up one onto the Nautilus, but they are maybe chasing a bit too far here. One kill for DSEA. Soul, however, for KVM.
That's what we said, those early game Drakes, they don't really matter until they do. Now they have a 22-minute Soul on their hands. Of course, not the biggest tanks on this KVM Mechler roster in this game.
Oh.
And if they can get a counter Baron out of this play, it's not the end of the world. But the question is, can they? Weaver's Wall coming in, and yeah, this is gonna be bloody.
A lot of people caught in the middle of the Baron pit, but they find the kill onto Oli really soon. Even the Yone going really low. Mindrago all by his own. All on his own, by himself. Mortar going really low as well. Should be picked up here by DSEA. KVM committing really hard. As Jerry looking for another re-engage. Not going to find it. 2 kills for the side of DSEA and only 1 for KVM, which gives DSEA some more room, gives them a little bit more gold, and they're coming back into this game, possibly turning this one around. They did, however, stop the Baron. DSEA is going really hard right now.
And DSA wins this fight solely on the stopwatch of Fix It. I mean, Drago jumps on him, ready to assassinate, ready to keep jumping. But he stopwatches, he buys time, everyone just returns, goes into Drago, he didn't get a reset, gets killed, and of course he gets out, he had to flee. And he can't really join the battle anymore. And of course he is such an important part of this composition where he has most of the kills this game. When you can zone him out, the fight is very much in favor. But now KVM is starting with a Baron, but it's not for free.
Do they find the killer margin? Not at all. He's too tanky. He finds the dodge field as well. Drago going low. He's going to find the damage in this fight. He needs to go front to back here as no one has gone down yet. The charm not going to land. He is going to be able to flash out of that one. Drago in the back, finding the auto attack for the kill. It's going to be enough. Flanking Tristana, assassinating Tristana. And yeah, she's finding it here as the teleport from Yone is going to come in to restart this Baron. Now it's going to be difficult for DSA to contest this one. They have a base, they have a TP. Shen going to teleport as well. Syndra coming in through the mid lane. KVM taking this Baron way under half HP. 2.5k left here. It should be for KVM. They find a shutdown on Drago. Maybe DSA can find a fight here to turn the game around, to pay off all these guys from KVM. But it looks like they're going to be able to get out of this one as the hook for Nautilus. He is not going to get binded there. Finds the slow. Shen using his taunt to get over the wall. Not going to find it to CC
Run,
them.
Bisco,
and
run.
they're going to go super hard on Bisco. He doesn't find the escape with the hook here. And it's not going to be enough. However, they do have the Baron buff on 3 people now on the side of KVM. Are they going to be able to use this to push in these waves? And then possibly even go for the Elder Drake, which is spawning in 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Well, it's a great pick, especially when you have Yone, who of course wants to live in the side lane still as long as possible. So he's gonna be able to really impact that lane, even though he will be met with someone that he can't necessarily 1v1. That person will not be able to effectively clear out the Baron of minions, so he can put pressure there. They just need to make sure that they push the waves simultaneously, and that it's not possible for SDA to get a pick before everyone is in position. So we'll see how they really do this together. They have at the moment Mortar in the split. They can go to a 1-3-1 or a 1-4, but you do not want to fight in the jungle with this buff, because then of course you waste its potential.
Both teams are chilling a little bit more now, of course. With the Baron buff, KVM can put some pressure into these lanes, as top lane is going to be pushed in with the Baron buff. Minions, Drago on that Tristana, being able to take down turrets rather quickly. He is on 2.5 items. He has some anti-healing as well, as Scatter the Weak is going to find the stun onto Pantheon. Not going to be enough for the kill, however. 1 minute and 15 seconds left on this Elder Drake. Of course, as we said, KVM pressuring these lanes, going to be able to get into position. Oh, the jump from Tristana gets cancelled. The taunt follows up, and Drago taken down. But of course, the timing of the kill not ideal. He will be up for this Elder Drake, but it does give DSEA some time to get into position to actually contest it.
It was a great Scatter the Weak by the Benelux, and so needed, because this means that they really need to stop their push on all sides of the map, because their main carry is down. So that means that they didn't get that much out of the Baron. They got 1 or 2 turrets, but they aren't really able to break open the base. While Jerry's still pushing this bot lane, they are going to prep the Dragon Pit and make sure that they are in position to get either a pick or sneak it from DSEA. And of course they can't let this one slide. They lost Soul, they lost the Baron. If you are going to give up this Elder freely, then the game is over. And of course we said it, team that wins this goes through in the open tour, the team that loses is out. And there is the pick that we talked about.
They almost find the pick onto Seraphine. She survives it, however, and look, Mordek jumping into the backline. Of course, he has that shield to deny some damage. Now Jerry finding the lifesteal. Is it going to be enough? No, he gets taken down. Fix it, picking him up. However, Shen goes down as well. Mandrago jumping in really hard, flashing away, still gets picked up though. And it is a double kill for Senna. They lose 2 members. KVM loses 2 members. The Elder Drake is up, and it looks like KVM is pinging it. They're not going to do it, however. And the fact that Loskeld actually gets out there on the Seraphine is insane. She went super low, but then the ult actually kept everyone into place. That's a free knockback for Talia. Combo again. Graves going down. KVM, in the long run, winning the fight, picking up a 3rd kill there in the river. Bit delayed, but sure.
And that is such a big mistake from the Mortis there, because he's the jungle, he is their biggest threat for this Elder Dragon, and this basically means that they're gonna lose it. They can't contest it anymore. There's no teleport up for both the top or mid laner, no jungler who can steal it, and this is just, yeah, this is the nail in the coffin for the DSEA, that KV Mechelen can pick up this Elder Dragon off of a pick after the team fight. It's not even the original phase check, because Loskeld, as you said, survived this. However, can they do a hero steal here?
They cannot. The smite was up for Oli. He picks that one up, and now the fight is for KV Mechelen. Whoa, he goes really low though, the Nautilus. Maybe they find the Shen. They don't eventually. Nautilus is going to go down. It's a double kill. It's a triple kill. Tristana does fall eventually. And the fact that Shen survives is strange, but doesn't really matter because, you know, free triple kill, I guess, for Tristana. Goes down himself, however. But that's an Elder Drake for the side of KVM. And now the fights will go their way even more than they already have.
And we saw that fight that initially started with Loskeld being caught, that Jerry was fighting 2 people at the red buff space in their jungle. He is 0-4-4, he's a support, but he's starting to really do what he has to do as being this nuisance that Yone is. When he gets those double lifesteal items, not dying, just doing so much damage, having double crit, that is his brother, of course, has as well. And with a form that exceeds his lane opponent now, we can't really say that he's behind. He is a level above Devil X at this point.
Yeah, he's slightly behind in gold, 500-600 gold behind, which at this point isn't that crazy anymore. So yeah, as we said, it's not a 0-10 power spike, it's a 0-4 power spike. Has those 2 very important items, gonna lifesteal quite a lot here. Has insane amounts of crit, as well as KVM is looking to go for this Baron. Maybe gonna be able to pick this one up as well. However, DSEA looking to potentially contest a Shen, wrong side of the map.
Are you gonna fight an Eldered up KV Mechelen at this point? The answer is yes. KV Mechelen starts it up.
The flash stun from Pantheon with the Elder Drake is going to be enough to find the first kill onto Seraphine. Yone flying back to his shadow. Yikes! That doesn't matter. Wow! The shield basically gets ignored. You know, Elder Drake not caring about that whatsoever. And KVM not only picking up the Elder Drake and the Baron, picking up some kills as well, and looking to close out this game in the next minute or 2.
There is a great difference in gold at this point, like 7k, however 30 minutes and the kills are almost equal, so I wouldn't say this is a stomp for KV Mechelen, but they have been in the driver's seat for most of this game. This is the last fight, the last pickup. They are gonna punch DSEA in the face here at the next. However, the shields are great. Can they turn it?
Margin tanking so much damage. Stun onto Tristana. Is it going to be enough? Finds the heal. Demordius finding the shutdown. However, on Tristana, KVM is not going to be able to close out this game. They are putting up a fight on the side of DSEA as KVM running away with the heal. Movement speed looking for Mortar. Is it going to be enough? The smoke screen is going to slow him down. Finding the shield to block the damage from there once again.
No
the
way.
double E is not going to be enough. You look for the turnaround on Graves. Also, that is not going to be enough. But DSEA putting up quite a fight here against this, well, sold up Elder Drake, Baroned up KVM. They're playing pretty well here.
Yeah, the fact that they didn't end it there is pretty crazy. You can again see the heal shields coming in on that one target that they're trying to focus down, overcommitting to kill one person and then getting returned on. very heavily, and Drago really needs to watch out because he has been called out a few times already in his fights, and he is the guy that needs to kill those key targets, need to jump in the backline at some point if you can. That is then the question: do you want to do that? Because yeah, you get killed in CC. It's very hard for him. But they have the mid wave shoving. They lost their buffs, I believe. No, the Baron is still up on a few members. Can they still capitalize with this?
A couple members still running around with that Baron buff, looking to push into this bottom lane. KVM still in the driver's seat, however, as we said, DSEA putting up quite the fight here to stall this game. Of course, Senna on those 3 items. Ginsu's trying
Oh,
to
that's
stay
a
rapid
catch.
fire cannon. They find the catch. Isn't going to be enough, however. He's going to jump back to his shadow thingy as the charm from Seraphine is going to hit several members. He's going to go down, however, eventually Mortar picking that one up. The Devil X's Zonias is going to make him survive for a couple more seconds, but not going to be enough. Look now here at the Senna. She's going to be able to do some free damage. It's going to be enough, however. Finds one, finds a couple of heals, maybe finds the second one. The hook is global. Nautilus is insane as he finds another hook there. How does that even hit
That's it.
the Senna? That should be the game. They find an ace. It's far from a clean ace, however, and now they have to start knocking onto these turrets. They don't do a lot of damage on the turrets, but they do decide to, of course, go for the finish. A lot of big death timers still on the side of DSEA
10
as they're
seconds,
trying
5
to
seconds on Seraphine.
Seraphine is
need
going
to
to
take
come
the
back.
Nexus.
They need to go for the Nexus here, but it's going to go really, really slowly. Seraphine does not have her ultimate up yet. Is going to look to damage the
Not
2
sure if
guys
this is
hitting
over,
their
though.
Nexus. It should be over. A couple more auto attacks. Nexus is going to fall. Seraphine is going to fall. Another small little ace coming through at the end. And KVM Esports Academy picking up a very, very necessary win to be able to go through to this round of 16. I was thinking round of 13. Why am I stupid?
Well, you're weird. But that aside, this was a great game from KV Mechelen. But the same as last time, they have this enormous gold lead. And you still see those fights in the late game go so close. It was only Talia and Nautilus with 20 to 30% HP standing. Like one small error or one thing that goes differently, and the fight was in favor of DS. Yeah, and they could have kept scaling because, of course, those healing, shielding champions, they make it so hard for you to get those targets down at some point. I mean, they really piled on with 5 people on Seraphine in that fight to kill her, and we've seen multiple times this game that they just didn't kill her and that the fight turns in favor of DSEA. But eventually, it's KV Mechelen who gets it 2-1. Not sure if the Iron Squad has finished their game yet. We'll see
They
if they if
probably
their end
just
scores.
Iron Squad
Yep.
probably just did go 3-0. So Iron Squad is going to be the winner of the group. KVM Esports Academy going in for second place. We do have Bisco in the lobby, waiting to go for a little interview. I'm going to drag him into the channel, and we'll see what his thoughts were on the games of the group phase today.
Hello, Bisco.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good. How are you? Congrats on your win.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You
Was
guys played a hell of a game, but it wasn't easy against DSEA. They put up quite a fight. Was that to be expected?
Yeah, I guess it was expected since their team comp from the beginning. We saw like they have a lot tons of healing. Sana, they have Shen, they have also Seraphine. It was like really hard to like go hard engagement into this comp since they have tons of healing.
yeah, because it was a little bit of a deja vu of the
Mhm.
composition that you played the game before against Gaming Alliance, who also
Yep.
had Seraphine and all the healing in the world.
It was
If this
really
game
hard.
would drag on like 5 or 10 minutes longer, do you think that you could still close this out?
I still think yes because we had like control on the whole map since we have catching comp with like Pantheon and Telia and also Nautilus. we can drag the comp and execute it perfectly and easily. It's really easy to execute with the on point stun and on point click stuns and stuff. We have like vision around their whole red side, so they can't even contest the next elder. If it still continued for 10 more minutes, we'll take another elder and another baron, and we would still manage to win.
Right, so no nervous moments there for
Yes.
for KV Mechelen. And you are playing two games of Nautilus now. We've seen you a lot on the Leona, on the Alistar. Is Nautilus what we can expect to see more from you now in the upcoming games? Did you find new joy in playing this champion?
Yeah, I guess it's not a new joy actually. It's one of my favorite champions already, but we couldn't pull it off in the previous team comps. I guess it's really easy to execute against such like non-mobile champions like Senna and Seraphine. So it's really broken in the current meta. Maybe it's my pocket pick. We might not know.
All right. Now you played really nice games on this Nautilus. Of course, the first game against Iron Squad was a loss.
Mhm.
Maybe probably the hardest game in this group phase. Um, Looking at now the rest of the tournament, round of 16, how are you feeling as a team? How are you seeing your own chances here? Do you think you'll make it back to the quarterfinals, maybe even further this time?
Yeah, I guess for sure we can make it. Since like I'm pretty sure we lost the first game as well against Iron Squad. We learned a lot. We learned a lot in this game. Like we had so many mistakes that we had to cover and we had to actually learn from. So I'm really happy we lost the first game. So we learned that much. So we don't get punished in the quarterfinals or semis like last time.
All right.
Right, exciting stuff. And like last thing I want to point out, you guys played three games against Graves today.
Hmm. Yeah,
Is
it's
it
really good.
something? Yeah, is this something that you guys don't mind? You see Graves and you're like, okay, we've seen this, we know what to do, or is this something that Oli might want to play himself at some point?
Yeah, I think Oleg have a huge champion pool. It's like an ocean actually. Yeah, he can play anything actually. But Graves, I think it's really good in the current meta. It's really obvious for teams to pick it. But the good thing we know how to punish it. Like we lost the first game, and the second two games we knew how to punish the Graves correctly. We just couldn't. We had to learn from our previous mistakes, so we can learn the upcoming matches.
What's the secret in punishing a Graves?
The
Then
secret
I
in
can take
punishing
that
Graves is
towards my solo queue.
all right. Yeah, it's really obvious. Punishing Griff is easy since we can actually go in like take prio mid lane and bot lane, or take prio mid lane and top lane, so we can punish his camps. So if and also if we have a strong bot lane, he can't vertical jungle. So we have to get into his jungle so he doesn't get a farm like last game or the previous game.
Right. Very nice. We're gonna wait now until we see, what the round of 16 is gonna bring, who the
All
opponent
right.
will be for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for joining for the interview. Good
You're
luck
welcome.
in the round of 16. I believe it's a best of three, if I'm not mistaken, this time.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Yep. So it's going to be a little bit different than last week, but you played really well in the best of one last week. You had a decent performance as well in the best of three. So this time around, take it home. Make sure you get into Sunday's games. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we should be back in. I think it's going to be an hour before the next games are going to start. Should be at 4 p.m. here. So we're going to